the secret sauce is to close that gap, right? Like, how can I make a race day feel like a training day? It's like lacing up your shoes, bringing your gels, and hitting your paces. Like, keep it simple. Be yourself. Don't get carried away with things that aren't in your plan. And just remember why you're doing it. Like, it's the how and the why.
All right, Boulderthon, it is now 1 o'clock, which means we are going to continue our speaker series here in front of the courthouse. Right now, our co-host, John Levitt, is returning. John is the host of the For the Long Run podcast, which explores the why that keeps runners running long, strong, and motivated. It's also one of the most popular running podcasts in the country. And today, or right now, I should say, he's talking to Aisha Praught-Leer. Aisha is coming to us from Boulder, as is John, which is great. She's a 2-time Olympian, 7-time Jamaican record holder. She is the 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medalist in the steeplechase and is a founding member of Team Boss here in Boulder. Since retiring from professional running, Aisha is now a self-proclaimed corporate girly who stays busy co-hosting the Off the Rails podcast with Eric Jenkins, as an analyst with Sidious Mag, and as a community organizer and advocate for the world's best athletes as a member of World Athletics Athletes Commission. Give it up for Aisha and John.
That's a lot. You do a lot.
That's too long of an intro.
Matt, we'll have to edit the intro for next time.
I was starting to blush there at the end. Like, oh no.
I just want to call out that this conversation was supposed to be hosted by Allie Feller. So we're thinking of Allie. She couldn't be here. She's fighting cancer, and we are supporting Allie and thinking of Allie and wishing she could be here. But I am here to chat with you. You were forced to deal with me instead of Allie. I don't have pink. I don't have ponytails.
I'm channeling Allie with my shirt today. It's the brightest pink I could find in my closet.
We should have had some Taylor Swift as walk-up music.
Taylor Swift, maybe some sort of like sparkle cannons, anything.
We'll add it in post-production. We'll be good. Okay, so we got a strong intro from Matt, but I like to ask the question to the guest. Who is Aisha? How do you describe yourself?
That's a deep question.
It's really tough.
Right from the jump. We're really diving into introspection here. Gosh, I just think I'm a friend. I think I'm a friend of a lot of different groups. I think I'm a friend of the running community, having raced at a really high level. I'm a friend to professional athletes, but also the everyday runner. I'm now a friend in running media space, hosting a podcast that's just really for fun and about like friendship and shenanigans that unfold on the run. And I think I'm just a friend and an advocate to a lot of communities that deserve a strong voice. Not everybody gets to sit with friends on the mic. And when I have that chance, I try to speak for those who can't.
Amazing. How did running find you, or how did you find running?
I found running because my cheerleading coach got fired at my high school. So I became a runner then. I had no ambitions to become a pro runner. I didn't know what pro running was. I just needed a different fall sport. So a friend convinced me to run cross country. I had no distance running background. My parents weren't even sure I could run 3 miles straight, the distance of the race. And then I found myself now, 20 years later, having run professionally for 12 years.
It's a lot of miles in between.
A lot of miles in between. I think about that. Like maybe I've run 30 to 40,000 miles in my life. Like
it's like a lot. Like a car that's been pretty well used.
There's a lot of miles on this old rig. Yeah.
Why do you think you're still doing it?
I love it. I think we're too connected in the world. Like we're always on screens, we're always on phones, but being able to go outside, put your phone down, talk to a friend, experience nature, experience your body moving you forward in space and time. It's the best challenge. It's the most original, purest sport.
So after you found running in the pursuit of a new fall sport, at what point did you realize, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Probably a year into running, I realized I was pretty good. I went from, not sure if I could complete the race distance to being one of the best runners in the state. Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty soon, but I wasn't really concerned with that. I was just concerned with showing up on the day and doing the best I could. And I didn't have a grand plan that I was going to become this great runner. It was just, hey, my team needs me to score points at the conference meet. Like, I'll do that. Or, oh gosh, I'm at the state meet. I guess I'll try to place as high as I can. It was pretty quick, but it wasn't really well thought out.
And how did you go from that to multiple-time Olympian, record holder, the co-creator of Team Boss? Like, there's a lot in between there. And I'm curious, was doing it with people, was that the through line?
Community is huge, and anybody in the running community can attest to how great of a space this is and how we all want to belong. The running community is so open and accepting, and having a team environment, even though it's an individual sport, like that really drew me in. In high school, I don't know, cross-country kids I think they were cool, but you're getting good grades, and some might have described us as nerds, and I fit into that mold.
All of us out here are those nerds that are still doing it. You're in good company.
Yeah. Closet nerd is one of my descriptors, but I loved it. I loved showing up. I love a personal challenge. I really find meaning in personal challenge, and it was the combination of community and digging deep within myself that kind of addicted me to this striving mentality, this showing up and giving my maximum effort on the day really kind of hooked me.
So you ran through high school, through college, you ran post-collegiately, professionally. What was that journey like?
Wild. It was so wild. I mean, as an adult, I look back at all these moments that are amazing. Like, I got to go to college for free. Like, what a gift, not have student loans. And like all of these moments where you think like, what? This is so wild. But I found myself going to Illinois State University, loved my coach, loved my team, got really good. And then, got called to my coach's office that like, hey, have you ever heard of the Oregon Track Club in Eugene, Oregon? No, I haven't. Okay, well, there are agents on the phone who want to talk to you, who want to recruit you to go run for Nike, to go move to Oregon. And all of this was just kind of a blur to me of like, nobody from my school had ever done this before. This wasn't a plan that I had created for myself. I wound up in Oregon and I ran for Nike for 4 years, and I went to my first Olympics in 2016. And at the Olympics, I thought, what is there more? Could I be better? I think I was 14th at the Rio Olympics. And then I looked around and thought, I want to train with the best in the world. So I moved here to Boulder, Colorado to train with Emma Coburn. And we then had a really great first year of her winning world championships. The following year, I won Commonwealth Games. And okay, now, there are all of these women around the country with various shoe sponsors who wanted to train together and create this environment. And oh my goodness, now there's 20 women that we're training with of all different shoe brands and all different goals and all different paces, and from 800 to marathon and everything in between. And it's this positive momentum of incredible voices and, diversity and experience and diversity in goals. It was just the perfect storm of, wow, like I look back and think, how the heck did I get here? How am I living here staring at the Flatirons every day? Like, this is has been such a gift.
You shared something in that, or the undertone there was curiosity. And I just had a chat with Sarah Vaughn and literally every other person I ever talked to with mics in hand. We get to talking about curiosity. And I think it's kind of the undertone of what enables people to be successful. I started asking, so I've done, 400 podcast episodes, and episode 40 something, I asked Vanessa Frazier, like, what would make you really proud? And I thought she was going to say, this was 2020. And I thought she was going to say like, oh, winning an Olympic gold medal, or being the best in the world. And she was like, being a good teammate, getting the most out of my body. And I was like, this is a pro athlete for Nike who's saying that she wants to just be the best version of herself and be good to the people around her. And that's what, and I pressed on it. I kept asking these questions, and I was like, is she an outlier and everybody else is focused on the tangible win Olympic gold medal thing? And as you're nodding along, and that people are not obsessed with that specific goal. So I feel like it's interesting because amateur runners are so tied to time goals and BQing and breaking 4 hours and breaking 5, like breaking 90 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever. Where do you think that disconnect is that allows professional athletes who are being paid to do the thing and win the thing? Why are those athletes so focused on just like exploring curiosity and being the best versions of themselves, whereas many of the people who run recreationally are, I spent 4 years being obsessed with breaking 3 hours in the marathon, and I didn't do it until I stopped being obsessed with breaking 4 hours in the marathon. And I was like, how does that work?
I think you answered the question, right? As a pro runner, your job is to perform a certain set of actions and get as many eyeballs on your sponsor on the biggest stages imaginable, to run times that even, I've been retired for a year, and to think about running those times now makes me want to throw up. Like, you're expected to do so many things.
Like a sub 2 and 800.
Yeah. I mean, no thanks. I don't want to do that right now. Like, that would really hurt me. I think a big thing is just experience. And as an athlete, you go through so much. It requires so much discipline, so much time, so many resources to perform at the biggest stages in the world. I've been ranked in the top 10 in the world in something. And to do that, I didn't think about that. That would have driven me mad, is to think about, this is what's going to get me up.
You're currently 11th and I need to be 10th.
And I need to be 10th. That would have destroyed me, because there is so much you can control, and the outcome is not really one of them. You can control how you race. You can control how you prepare. For the most part, you can control your self-belief. You can control how you show up. You can control how you handle adversity, but you cannot control whether you get injured. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the race conditions. You cannot, whatever. It's like you have these processes that you may follow, but the outcome is ultimately not up to you. So if I'm, as an athlete, focused on the outcome, I'm wasting energy. If I'm focused more on the process and focused more on loving getting up and going to run before, my 9-to-5 job, I'm going to enjoy it more. I'm going to feel lighter, and those goals will probably come to me instead of me continually chasing them.
I'm glad we have Grace capturing this on audio and video, because that's like a nugget that everyone in the running community needs to hear. So if somebody's listening and they're like, oh, I've been trying to break 3, 4, 5, whatever in the, insert time goal here that the running community deems as worthy, right? What do you say to that person? And again, I'm still trying to understand how I did it. And so maybe it's like a selfish question trying to unpack it from 4 years ago, 6 years. Jeez, time flies. What is time?
Yeah.
That was 2019. What do you say to that person?
I asked 2 questions. I would say, how? What are your intermediate goals? What are the splits you're looking to run? Do you have a race plan? Do you have a training plan? Do you have a coach? Do you have a community around you? How? How are you going to go about doing that? And then the second question I would ask is why? Why is this important to you? And that's the how and the why is going to get you to sub 3 hours. It is not saying I want to run sub 3 hours. I could get on here and say, I want to break the world record in the marathon. I'm not going to break the world record in the marathon. Talk is cheap. Anybody can say, I can do XYZ goal. I want to do this. Yeah, of course. I want somebody to walk by and hand me a briefcase of $10 million. If that
anyone
happens,
out there has $10 million in the briefcase, Aisha is looking for it. She dropped it.
But it's how are you going to do it, and why do you want to do it? And those are ultimately the drivers and the reasons that it will become.
Your teammate, Kate Grace, had another way to describe it. I had this conversation with her also, and she talked about setting little carrots in front of your face and chasing those little carrots. And those carrots are the boxes that you check on a day-to-day basis. And once you check a lot of those boxes on a day-to-day basis for weeks, months, years, go figure, you'll do the thing that you set out to do while not being so tied to that outcome at the same time.
That's exactly right. The outcome can be so far away. And you also, I think reward is an enjoyment is part of that. It's part of those little carrots that if you have intermediate goals in between, if you have small wins that you can cross off of hey, I didn't miss any of my training, or I made a new friend in my run crew, or whatever it may be, or I actually showed up and raced a shorter distance. I challenged myself in a different way. These are all little wins that you'll look up one day and be like, oh, wow. And that's the little carrots, the little wins is how I found myself in the position I was in. I didn't set out to achieve these great things. I just arrived there by showing up every day and enjoying what I was doing and pouring myself 100% into it.
Does that make the result that much sweeter?
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
so?
I think anybody who's really spent a lot of time around me training for 12 years as a professional would say dang, that girl's having a great time. She's really enjoying this. I let myself be my whole self, my whole career. I let myself enjoy those little moments. And oh my gosh, I had an absolute near career ending injury. I blew out my knee 2 weeks before the Tokyo Olympics, and I still raced, but it was just like, potentially horrific. I may never have stepped on a start line again. And I could have spent the 2 years that I spent coming back and rehabbing and getting on the line to get my butt kicked. I could have spent those years being miserable, or I could spend those years like dancing to whatever song we had in the gym and like having a good time doing it. And it makes me look back and think like, wow, what a great gift I had to be able to chase something again. And what a great time I allowed myself to have to try something that was probably impossible and maybe a fool's errand, but at least I gave myself the opportunity to be myself and to enjoy the process.
For any of us who were following along on Instagram over those years, like it was clear that you guys were having so much fun. Talk about that group and why having fun was so critical. Again, you're professional athletes, you're paid to compete and win and represent brands and, be on podiums and stuff, but you're just having a good old time out there.
Having a good time. And don't get me wrong, if we were having a time trial, we were going to rip each other to shreds. But as the second we crossed the line, it was a hug and it was like, you smoked that. Like, oh my gosh, you just kicked my butt. Like, this is awesome. We created a very, very unique environment in sport where we have individual goals. In some cases, we're competing against each other for spots.
Yeah.
But
and sponsorship.
And spots on teams, spots, in a world ranking, spots in an Olympic final, spots in whatever. But we didn't believe in the scarcity mindset. And I think this is very, very rare, especially in a team of all women, is to have a true, genuine desire for the next girl to succeed. Like if my teammates succeeded, that was success for me and vice versa. That's not something you can fake. And that's something that requires immediate buy-in. And I think it was obvious for everyone to see that like, hey, they really care about each other and they really care about each other's goals and they don't want to get in the way of each other's goals. They want to help each other. And because we all believed in that, because we all believed in each other and we didn't think that so-and-so was out to get me and so-and-so was out to, steal my job. It was like, no, like we have confidence, charisma, having a good time. We're all on the same page. Like we're all doing this together. And we also celebrated the little moments in between.
So it might not be directly relevant to people who are, working desk jobs or in, more traditional careers, but the concept of building a high performing team is a universal principle. So like what was in the DNA and what enabled the facilitation of this high performance team?
So now I do work at a desk.
Right.
I work a 8 to 4, 9 to 5, and it's completely the same thing. I believe that there's kind of like 3 aspects to being a good team. One, we've already talked about, which is curiosity. It's like, hey, how can my genuine self, like what are the doors that are open to me? How can I explore how good I can personally be? I think humility is the second piece of that. No matter what they've achieved, no person is more important than the next. Like we are a team and we are all equal. On Team Boss, there were people who were trying to qualify for the US trials. There were people trying to qualify for an Olympic team. There were people trying to win Olympic medals. And each goal, no matter what stage it was, each goal was as important as everyone's goal. And then I think the third piece of a high-performing team is discipline. It's the expectation that whatever you're going to do, it's not a question of, am I going to get out for my second run? Right now, it's like, I make 150 cold calls a week, like very wild. Like, but I know I'm going to get my calls in. It's just like a given. I'm not going to waffle about it. I'm not going to complain about it. Do I want to do it? Not necessarily.
Aisha's in an SDR role, right?
Yeah. It's the discipline that I'm going to get my 150 calls in. I'm going to run my second run to hit my 90 miles this week. Do I want to do it? No. Am I going to do it? Yes. And there's not a doubt in my mind that slacking off is an option. And if everybody's bought into humility, discipline, and curiosity, like your team's going to fly.
If I heard that a multiple-time Olympian were joining my team in a sales role, I would be thrilled. And not because of the fandom or stardom or whatever, but because of what you're describing. That like to get to that level, you have to have such a dialed process and focus. And I am in a sales role as well. And the ability to just like put in the reps, that's all that matters. And if you bat 30%, you're going to the Hall of Fame kind of a thing. Like, it's fascinating. So what was the impact on your team that you joined?
I mean, I think it's cultural, right? Like I'm bringing those things to the table. Nobody's complained to me. And I think in a role where you're like, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole at my company and the totem pole is quite large.
Right. You're at Oracle, right?
I'm at Adobe.
Yeah.
And I think it's been really like the attitude tide has risen of like, hey, we have kind of a simple job here, right? Like we're just going out there. We're just connecting. We're connecting with people. We're trying to, build relationships. Like that's all we're doing. It's not rocket science. And when I go home, I'm going to shut my laptop and I'm going to hang out with my husband. Like nothing is so serious.
Shout out to Will and that epic mustache he's got.
Yeah. Nothing is so serious. Nothing is so hard. Like let's just have fun with it. Like you have a bad day and it's like, oh man, guess what happened? Like, all right, like we'll get him next time. And I think it's just the attitude that I bring that, look, we're going to get our job done and we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it as fun as it possibly can be.
So you're demonstrating the very simple carryover between what we do in running and what we do in other aspects of life. As people are approaching race day tomorrow, what are the takeaways from lessons like that they can apply on the execution of the thing?
It's really easy to let a race day change who you are. There are goals, there are expectations, there are nerves, a race day is different to training, but the secret sauce is to close that gap, right? Like, how can I make a race day feel like a training day in the way that you've run how many miles? Like people here are going to run a marathon. I've never run a marathon. Like, what it takes. It's like lacing up your shoes, bringing your gels and hitting your paces. Like keep it simple, be yourself. Don't get carried away with things that aren't in your plan. And just remember why you're doing it. Like it's the how and the why. How am I going to run my pace goal and why am I doing it? It's showing up, looking around, smiling at the mountains when it gets hard and just letting it be. Realizing that the goals, you don't have to chase them. The goals will come to you if you go through the process that's taken you this far.
What happens when things get hard?
It's going to get hard. It's inevitable. I think that's something that pros really understand, is that there is never an easy race. When you get faster and faster and faster, it doesn't get easier. You just accept the discomfort easier. You accept the discomfort better. And that's your whole mission, is to be comfortable with the discomfort. And that's always the goal. Like how, you're at mile 20. I've looked at the course map and there are some really tough miles, like right before 18. You're going to be on a long grinding uphill. And what you're going to do is you're going to look up to the mountains, you're going to smile and you're going to say, I chose this. And you just keep going. Like for every uphill, there's a downhill and you'll just keep riding it.
And the views on the back half of that course,
gorgeous.
You've spent a lot of time out in that area.
There are thousands of miles of the bottom of my running shoes out on those roads. So.
The left turn that puts you onto the road that is right near left hand.
Niwot turning onto...
No, as you're coming back around... Yeah, it turns you onto Niwot.
Yes, turning onto Niwot and running west on Niwot.
No, I'm thinking a little bit early. Anyway, course is beautiful.
If you take left turns, if you're running toward the mountains...
Yeah, anytime you take a left turn, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, right turns are into the pain. Left turns are into the beauty.
Sometimes right turns lead to downhills, though, in North Boulder.
That's true. So, yeah.
Right turns, downhills, left turns, beautiful views.
Yes.
So there's pain and beauty in both directions.
There's pain and beauty. Yeah, there's something artistic in there.
So when you're standing on the start line of a race in an Olympic stadium, or you're standing on the start line of a race in Boulder, Colorado, what is going through your head?
I like to think positive thoughts about myself. I think it's really easy to slip into the comparison game, to slip into fear of not accomplishing your goals. But I like to think about what are my good attributes that I am excited to use right now. So if I were to be racing in Boulder, Colorado, the attributes I'm going to use are I train at altitude, I live here, and I can really hurt. And those are the things I'm going to lean into. The gun's going to go off. I'm going to be repeating those things to myself. If I'm standing on the start line of the Olympic final, I'm going to repeat my race plan to myself, say, I earned my place here. I'm ready to hurt. I'll give it everything. It's just the repeating of the things that you're ready for, the things you've earned, and the things you're excited to do.
So you seem pretty comfortable behind the mic. You have your own podcast now. Where did that come from?
Who on earth gave me a microphone?
I think Matt Shittum gave you a microphone.
A microphone got shipped to my house and they said, we can start a podcast. I love running. I love running at every level. My co-host, Eric Jenkins, and I are good buddies. We both lived and trained in Eugene, Oregon. We weren't friends then, but we have a lot of shared experience in many ways of racing at the top level of the sport, but not being the very best. Both of our training partners have won a world championship, and we've been in the top 10. We've seen a lot in professional running, and we also don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think that combination of letting folks who haven't been on the world stage sort of like under the curtain of like, hey, what's it really like? And just kind of hanging out, not taking it too seriously and just chatting. It's very fun.
What do you want your listeners to take away from those conversations? Do you think about that stuff, or are you just there to shoot the shit and have a good time?
I mean, I think what I would want it to feel like is like you've gone on a run with two people who have a lot of insider knowledge. I want people to learn a little bit about the sport at the highest level. I think, people tune in for the Olympics, people tune in for a New York Marathon or a Boston Marathon, but there's so much more to like professional track and field and professional marathoning and professional running as a whole. So I want them to learn a little something, but I don't want them to realize they learned something. I want them to have so much fun that they didn't realize how much they learned.
So a goal I have with my podcast is to have people realize that the only secret is that there is no secret. And it's like the agenda is to have conversations with people like yourself who have realized that and can communicate that. So it's fun to hear that you have this like also kind of not so secret agenda, but there's an agenda there for the people to take away there. Okay, so the World Championships just happened, and Allie had many questions about the World Championships, so she shared some of them with me, but she wanted to hear about what it was like from your side of the
globe,
yeah. And your side of you're watching it now instead of competing in it. What was that like, seeing your teammates or people you've raced with over the years all the way over in Tokyo sweating to what we're doing now in this hot box?
Yeah, it is toasty in this little box here. So the World Athletics Track and Field World Championships just took place in Tokyo. It just wrapped up on Sunday. It was 2 weeks, essentially, or 9 days of nonstop action of the top 36 athletes in the world from all countries go to compete for the World Championship. It caps the end of professional track and field, which exists not on an Olympic year. Surprise.
What?
Yeah. And it was such an unpredictable championship. It was so fun to watch. It was really difficult. Tokyo's 15 hours ahead of Boulder, Colorado. So I was waking up obscenely early to watch these races and then staying
You have a lot of practice, though, with watching the tour.
I have a lot of practice with watching the tour. Yeah, I really thrive in early morning endurance sport watching. But yeah, I've got the track on. I'm commuting on the bus. I'm watching track. I've got it on my computer at work and just so tuned into these incredible performances. It was really unpredictable. We saw a lot of first-time winners, which is always fun. But I think being removed from racing there gives me so much more respect for the difficulty to be one of the best in the world. It is not by accident that these people have performances, whether breakthrough or devastating or anywhere in between. There is so much that goes on behind the scenes of every person standing on those start lines. It's so beautiful. I love it. I feel no regrets that I retired. I feel awe and admiration to the athletes that are in the arena.
What was the favorite event?
Oh my goodness. There are so many great events. If I had to choose one, I think I would choose the women's 8. I thought that who made the final was really exciting. We had a Boulder, Colorado athlete, Sage Herta-Klecker, came 5th, I believe. Any shakeup, any new winner, any unexpected result was really exciting. So I'd say women's 8.
How about those marathons?
Oh, the marathons were incredible. Oh my goodness. The men's marathon was decided by what, 0.01?
Yeah, it was like the women's race was incredible. I was like, wow, how are they going to get closer than that? And they did.
Fun storyline. The women's second placer at the World Championship had no idea she had won the silver medal. Talk about being in the moment. Talk about being in the how. She was running her race. She was racing. You cross the line, and that's when she discovered she'd won the silver medal at the World Championship. Like, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's like, you're just in it. You're in the race. You're in the process. And then, oh my gosh, look at this outcome that came to me.
But she's from Flagstaff, so we can't talk about her anymore.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Boulder over everyone.
Boulder over everyone. Okay, so over to race day. So people here are walking around. It's 1:35 on Saturday afternoon. What are you doing the afternoon and evening ahead of a race?
I'm chilling out. I'm
sitting on a panel talking, baking in the sun, sitting in the...
I'm going to chill out. First of all, I'm going to enjoy the experience. If I have one regret in my career, it is that early in my career, I was too afraid to enjoy. I was too afraid to walk around the expo, too afraid to walk around the city a little bit. Just take an hour and just really soak it in. Like, you earned this day. So walk around the expo, hang out, see your sights, get dialed in for your race tomorrow, figure out your plan. I always like to write myself a schedule of the day, of race day. I'm going to wake up at X time. I'm going to eat a meal at this time. I'm going to warm up at this time. I'm going to whatever. So I write it down and then I don't think about it. I enjoy the day. I'm going to eat a delicious, nutritious dinner, maybe have a little dessert. I will watch a fun show that makes me laugh. I'll watch a movie. I'll hang out. I'll kick my feet up, hydrate, whatever. The hay is in the barn. You don't have to worry about it. Like, now is the fun part.
Totally, particularly with views like this.
Oh, my gosh. I know we're in a very hot box here, but we've got great views.
At least there are great views. What does your running look like today?
I surprisingly don't run that much. I'm really focused on learning new sports. So I run enough that I can run. You know, like I'm running 3 to 5 miles a couple times a week. So not very much compared to the 85 miles that I would run weekly before. But I learned to ski this year. I've learned to road cycle. I'm focused on strength. I'm taking Pilates. I'm getting ready for ski season. I'm going out on, long rides on Sundays on the Boulder Road. So not much running, but a lot more curiosity for other sports.
I love it. It's definitely fun to explore. There are so many athletes who spend so much time just running and then get into skiing. And it's like, oh my God, people come to Colorado to go skiing.
I learned to ski at age 35.
Wow.
I snowboarded a little in high school, but I never put a pair of skis on my feet until I was 35, and my husband taught me to ski last year, and it is so fun. I used to hate winter, and now I'm so excited. When I think people don't realize, you could be a pro athlete in the absolute peak fitness, but you're in some ways just wrapped in bubble wrap and you can't do anything really that fun. Contractually, you couldn't go downhill skiing or do anything dangerous or get hurt in some way that was distracting to your sport. So I spent my whole life being committed to one goal. And now my next goal is I want to be able to ski some black diamonds this year. So I'm getting my legs strong.
Sweet. Let's talk about your former sponsor, Puma, who is the title sponsor for Boulderthon. We're sitting, 100 feet away from the Puma booth. And if they still have any of those Fast R3s, you should go buy them before you can't anymore because they're a hot commodity pretty much everywhere. What was it like running for a brand like Puma and particularly the ties to Jamaica?
Loved it. It was very fun. So I ran for 3 brands in my career. Puma was the third and definitely the most fun. Being a Jamaican athlete, the Puma brand is part of your DNA. And I had the great joy to be on the Olympic and a few world championships with Usain Bolt and having that history, that culture of Puma in track and field felt so sort of in alignment with everything good and cool in sport. And it was really fun to be on that team in such a pinnacle brand at pinnacle moments that it felt like, I don't know, my whole life was kind of leading up to it. It was really fun.
What's something that surprised you about Usain Bolt?
He's exactly the same in all situations. He is Usain at dinner, on the track, everywhere. Very laid back, very fun guy. None of it is an act. He is who he is.
That's awesome. I love it when you hear that people are exactly how you envision them to be. Cool. Well, you're not doing any racing tomorrow, are you?
I'm not racing tomorrow. I will be out on the course. I plan to be at miles 8.5, 12.5, 17.5, and 24.
Those aren't all the same places, are they?
No. I have a plan. I'm going to be out at different places on the course. No, I really just want to enjoy it. I want to take it in. I want to cheer some people on.
Sweet. Love it. Aisha, this has been a blast. If people want to follow your podcast, what is the name and where can they find you?
They can find Off the Rails with Eric and Aisha on anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. We have clips on Instagram. We're having a good time. I would say it's definitely not safe for work. So make sure you got your headphones on.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah. Enjoy.
It's in the title. So
it's in the title.
That's on you if you play that at work.
Yeah. And there are definitely some disclaimers. So yeah, maybe don't listen with your mom, but have a good time when you listen.
Sweet. Thank you so much for chatting.
Thank you.